Hi there, I'm the Second Shot Gamer, and today we'll be looking at Wayfinder. Wayfinder originally released as an MMO in early access in mid-2023. After a critical reception and the closure of Digital Extreme's publishing branch, Wayfinder slid into the realm of forgotten mid-tier games. And it's a real shame too, because in 2024 this game has removed all free-to-play mechanics and predatory microtransactions, and it is a real joy to play. Wayfinder is a third-person action RPG, playable either solo or in 2 or 3 player co-op. It features 7 heroes, which all come with their own kit of abilities and a semi-randomized gear system. The heroes each have their own playstyle, with some of them being more restrictive than others. Each one has 4 active abilities, 1 hero-specific passive, and 1 more for the hero archetype, which is shared among multiple heroes. Concerning the gear, stats on individual items are fixed. So this isn't one of those RNG loot fests, but there is a decent selection of weapons and the possibility of upgrading your gear. This is mainly done via the Echoes system. Every enemy in the game has an echo that corresponds to them, which buff 1 or more of your character's stats. These can be slotted into your gear at any time and individually upgraded. Speaking of upgrades, the game features a surprising amount of player progression paths. Hero abilities can be upgraded, but not all of them can be upgraded to their full extent, so you do still have to make some build choices. As you level up, you will also gain affinity points, which lets you unlock very worthwhile perks for a specific hero. And finally, as you play the game, you will also unlock shared Wayfinder levels, which lets you unlock smaller, but still noticeable passive buffs in a branching talent tree. There are a few other upgrade paths, but I'll leave the rest for you to find out. Now that we know how we're going to play, let's answer the question of where. The game features 2 large open world type areas filled with enemies, secret stashes, hidden bosses, and quests to complete. But that's not where the meat of the game is. You will instead be spending most of your time in roguelite-ish dungeons. These dungeons are split into 2 types, expeditions and hunts. Hunts are your run-of-the-mill boss battle where you spawn into an arena and have to kill bosses with varying mechanics. Expeditions feature a semi-randomly generated level with chests and special events sprinkled around the map. What makes these really interesting though, is the modifiers or imbuements, as the game calls them, you can add to them. For each dungeon run you can add up to 3 imbuements out of a selection of 5, with each one completely changing how the dungeon looks and plays. For example, add 1 greed imbuement and there will be piles of gold that debuff your defenses for every one you pick up. Add 2 greed imbuements and enemies will be covered in golden armors that you will have to break before you can deal proper damage to them. This system adds significant replayability to otherwise repetitive tile sets. For now I've been talking a lot about things I like about Wayfinder, but let's take a moment to talk about its shortcomings as well. From a technical gameplay perspective, the game shines. However, the game suffers from very poor quest design, most of them amounting to fetch quests or equivalents. The heroes are really interesting from a gameplay perspective, but from a human perspective they are basically inexistent. The character design is fine, but there is a persistent lack of proper voice acting for the different heroes and no banter between them when playing co-op, which is definitely a missed opportunity. This leads to heroes feeling like gameplay elements and not like characters you can bond with or relate to. Some elements of the game can also be confusing at first. It can be hard to know where or how to obtain specific weapons or gear, and the game offers surprisingly little handholding with some core features. The difficulty curve is real. And as much as you will feel very powerful until you reach mid to late game, you will quickly end up dead at later stages, especially with some of the modifiers that will just render your expeditions unplayable. It is important to know, however, that the game is very lenient when it comes to death. In hunts, death just means that you will have to start the boss fight again. In expeditions, you will eventually lose out on bonus rewards if you die too much, but nothing that is essential to progress either the story or your character. This accessibility is also felt in the game's difficulty options, which do not penalize players for playing in lower difficulties. Let's finish things up by looking to the future. The game is slated to receive more features for its official 1.0 release, including a whole new open world area and hero. The game's recent updates have also added many quality of life features, so I expect that the developers will continue in this direction with future updates. All in all, the game is good, and it's being sold at a very affordable price when you look at the amount of content it currently offers. If you're looking for a casual cooperative action game to play with your friends, then I would definitely encourage you to give Wayfinder a second shot.